I didn't feel controlled. That was the first sign. The room was quiet, the kind of quiet that feels cooperative. No alarms, no force, just procedures moving forward because they always had. I believed in what I was doing. That belief felt personal, earned, chosen. But belief has weight, and once it settles deep enough, it stops asking where it's being carried. In the lab, obedience never arrives as command. It arrives as alignment. You don't feel pushed, you feel reasonable. And that's how belief begins to move your body without ever asking permission.
Number 10. The micro scene opens with a junior technician reviewing a protocol sheet, finger tracing familiar steps, eyes skipping the rationale column, lips pressing together in calm focus. The psychology label is belief anchoring. The mechanism starts when accepted beliefs reduce cognitive search, narrowing attention to actions that feel consistent rather than examined. The pattern breaks when the skipped section never feels missing. The human trigger is certainty, mirrored by the line, belief trims awareness to what agrees.
Number 9. The microscene shifts to a classroom. A student copying notes verbatim, pen moving smoothly, head nodding without pause as the lecture continues. The psychology label is cognitive conformity. The mechanism channels belief into selective intake, where aligned information flows freely and misaligned details fail to register. The pattern breaks when disagreement never forms. The human trigger is intellectual safety, mirrored by the line, "When belief feels settled, questioning feels unnecessary."
Number 8. The microscene shows an office worker approving a policy update. Inbox cleared one message at a time, shoulders relaxing as compliance removes uncertainty. The psychology label is relief-based compliance. The mechanism trades ambiguity for comfort, rewarding obedience with emotional relief that reinforces belief. The pattern breaks when compliance feels like progress. The human trigger is tension release, mirrored by the line, "Obedience feels good when doubt feels heavy." Number 7. The microscene follows a citizen waiting patiently in line, instructions posted clearly, posture relaxed as rules remove the burden of choice. The psychology label is decision offloading. The mechanism shifts responsibility outward, allowing belief in the system to justify passive obedience. The pattern breaks when waiting feels virtuous. The human trigger is cognitive ease, mirrored by the line, "Rules feel kind when they decide for you." Number 6. The microscene presents a supervisor explaining enforcement calmly, voice even, hands folded, framing obedience as responsibility rather than submission. The psychology label is moral alignment. The mechanism reframes obedience as ethical action, converting belief into duty without resistance. The pattern breaks when enforcement feels righteous. The human trigger is moral identity, mirrored by the line, "Belief turns obedience into goodness." Number 5. The microscene captures a participant justifying a harmful outcome as necessary, eyes steady, tone measured, shoulders squared. The psychology label is moral displacement. The mechanism relocates responsibility to belief-based authority, allowing obedience without guilt. The pattern breaks when harm feels abstract. The human trigger is self-absolution, mirrored by the line, "Belief absorbs blame so obedience can continue."
Number 4. The microscene freezes on a checkpoint gate lowering, warning light inactive, guards standing still as the barrier locks into place. The psychology label is behavioral locking. The mechanism solidifies obedience into routine, removing the perception of choice entirely. The pattern breaks when stopping feels impossible.
The human trigger is procedural finality, mirrored by the line, once belief hardens, obedience becomes automatic. The gate stays down. The light never changes. The path is closed.
Number 3. The micro scene shows a family discussion paused. One person defending a rule with rehearsed calm, hands open in assurance, eyes steady. The psychology label is identity fusion. The mechanism merges belief with self-concept, defending obedience as part of who one is. The pattern breaks when disobedience feels like self-betrayal. The human trigger is identity security, mirrored by the line, obedience becomes proof of self. The hands remain open. The tone does not shift. The rule stands.
Number 2. The micro scene depicts an online forum, user repeating approved language, likes accumulating, postures straightening as affirmation reinforces compliance. The psychology label is social reinforcement. The mechanism rewards obedient belief with belonging, discouraging deviation before it forms. The pattern breaks when approval replaces reflection. The human trigger is social validation, mirrored by the line, belief obeys where belonging waits. The screen refreshes, the likes stay visible, the words repeat.
Number 1. The micro scene ends in a silent room. Uniform folded neatly, instructions memorized, movements rehearsed without thought. The psychology label is internalized obedience. The mechanism embeds belief into automatic behavior, removing conscious decision from action. The pattern breaks when obedience feels natural. The human trigger is stability, mirrored by the line, belief completes itself as obedience. The uniform stays folded. The steps are remembered. The body knows what to do.
Obedience leaves residue, not as fear, as normality. You don't feel controlled. You feel aligned. The most effective systems don't demand obedience. They cultivate belief until obedience feels like self-expression. If this felt familiar, that sensation is not agreement. It is recognition moving through the residue. This channel exists to slow that movement long enough to be seen. Stay. Because once belief becomes obedience, resistance no longer feels like an option.